welcome back to the Seen, Heard, and Loved podcast by Tafadzwa at Project Tafadzwa on the IG and the Twitter. This is episode 3. Super exciting. Yes, 3 is a good number, y'all. And I'm already in awe of, how people have been connecting with this space, with this platform. Honestly, just getting the messages and the conversations, it's all God. I thank God. It's amazing what happens when you just start and do and just keep going and keep trying. So please do continue sharing with me your stories and your comments. It really helps a gal. It's really great. So thank you. Welcome to, this space. And if you're new here, maybe this is the first episode you're listening to, I really do hope that these words do hug your mind, your heart, your spirit. And today we're going a little bit deep, okay? Yes, we're going a little bit deeper. We're getting a little bit personal. So this is really that episode where, if you need to also just evaluate yourself, if you need to just deep dive, if you need to be like, okay, God, maybe this is my pause moment, I do encourage it for you. If you're going to take a walk with this, if you are going to, on your way to work, because now we're back to reality. If you're on your way to work with this, I do hope that this is a moment to just evaluate and see and take stock of you, so that you can get out of this moment better, or also just in the know. So this is going to be quite personal. I will share quite a bit. Well, I'm sharing more than what I would think I would like to share but I think this is also my moment of just letting go. When I was preparing for this episode, I was really just sitting, and I've been feeling emotional for the past couple of days, and just a whole lot of emotions where I just didn't understand what exactly is going on. I feel good, but then you have these emotions and I'm just like, oh Lord, what's wrong with me? But at the same time, I've been reading this book, What's Happened to You, which has been so profound for me, to just not think of me as, what's wrong with me, but more as what has happened to me, to better understand, how I react to the world, how I react to triggers, how my brain is reacting to everything around me. So that's a bit of a segue, but yes, this is going to be quite a share, and I really hope it's good for you. Today we're tackling the topic of the forming of you. Yes, the forming of you. I initially wanted to make this topic, or title it, to be you, but then I kind of felt like it was falling flat for me. I'm like, to be you feels like, trying to be motivational and trying to be like self-help. This is not about that. This really is the, taking a simple yet complex, thing, which is you, the understanding of you, the forming of you, and really understanding the things that impact, how you view yourself, how you form who you are. And I'm taking it from a certain angle, because I know this it can come from so many angles, but I'm taking it from a certain angle, which is quite personal, which hopefully someone will relate to. And I think also, you start thinking about this idea of you, and people simply just say, yeah, do you, be you, boo, and it's kind of like, well, actually, do you, boo, be you. But we always think about the forming of you, or, being you in terms of like self-expression. We talk about it as like, be authentic, be real. And all of these terms are so lovely, right? But honestly, they can be overexpressed, oversaid, overdone. And it's, in our day-to-day, when you get into the day-to-day and the thick of it, you can sometimes slip in terms of who you are. It can sometimes be extremely difficult to be like, wait, who am I in this situation? And sometimes you can, leave a piece of you behind and forget where you actually left yourself in the first place. So can I just be real and say I don't actually have myself as figured out as I thought I did. I remember when I was starting out in grade 8, and I remember taking a walk. I went to boarding school in high school, and I remember taking a walk in the first days, and I needed a clean slate. I needed a new slate, and you will know why after I tell you. But I literally was like, okay, Tef, this is the time for you to get to know who you are. In this season, now that you're getting into high school, now that you're in high school, like, start to know who you are. Profound question for a, at that time, 11-year-old, to try figure out, like, yes, 11, I started school early. I was turning 12 that year, just in case someone's trying to do the math. But I really was just trying to be like, let me, get to know me. And I'm still getting to know me, okay? In my 30 years of age, I'm still getting to know me. Well, soon to be 30. And I think it's just really interesting especially when you have this trait of self-awareness. Yes, when you are self-aware, it is great, but it's also the ghetto, okay? Because you're so aware of who you are, and at some point you really need to learn when to get over yourself, because you start explaining yourself, you start excusing yourself, you start looking for the root, you start looking for this, that, and the other, and it just gets overwhelming. And I think really this is a moment, as I was saying, is to let go. It's really just to let go of all of those things that have formed your self-view, that have formed my self-view, to be like, hey, okay, gotta let it go, let's just move with this. But without riding the wave too soon, I want to speak about the moments in life where you may have been heartbroken or rejected, anxious or compared, okay, afraid or judged, and how that actually fractured your self-view and how it affects the forming of you. I think there's so many moments in our lives, if we actually give ourselves the time and the space and the grace to just reflect. And I did that during my break. I actually was like now picturing. I allow myself just to go back, and I'm like, okay, just picture these moments, and what did you feel? How did it feel? Like, what do you remember? What did it smell like? Just trying to recall as much as possible. And I actually left that moment heartbroken, because I'm like, wow, these moments, I can remember they were good moments, but I also remember pain, I remember heartbreak, I remember loneliness, I remember rejection, and just not being loved the way that I wanted to be loved. And I didn't know that then. I didn't know how to express it then. I didn't know that then. But all of these moments just kind of end up, you kind of have an idea as to, okay, no wonder I don't remember. No wonder I feel like this. No wonder I react in this way. So it's tough times, guys. But when you know what has happened to you, you will know, therefore, why you are, but then also how to now move forward to be, to be a better you, to be, a better version of you. So let's take it back. Let me now give practical moments, and let's just go down memory lane with me. So just bear with me, please. Hopefully I don't cry, but I think I'll be fine. So there are moments in my life that still affect me today, and hence why I'm saying hopefully I don't cry. And often I do have dreams that make my insecurities feel extremely real, okay? And they leave me wondering. And like, I actually had a dream just the other night, and I was just like, oh, what the hell is this? Why are these people in my dream? And they leave me wondering if, do I still have a problem? Is this still a problem? God, how do I deal with this? Is this you? Are you bringing this to my attention? Why again? What are you trying to tell me? Am I still not over this rejection? Am I waiting to be validated by these people? Am I waiting, and let me be very honest, let me be very real. Am I waiting to show up in a certain way in front of the people who rejected me, so that, I can finally get validated, so they can actually see like, oh snap, she actually is something, am I waiting to prove myself to these people in these moments? So I think it's just this moment for me personally, if anything, is a moment to just face that and, finally deal with it, so it doesn't have power over me anymore. Deep. Yeah. So I've had to be honest with myself lately and allow myself to really reflect on my life with a bit more patience, as I was mentioning, like just being able to just see things and hopefully remember them for as they are, and yes, also realize how I felt in that time, which is okay, because as I was saying, I really have blocked out quite a bit of my childhood and adolescent life, right? And it's often hard for me to remember what were all the good memories and who are all the people I was with. But of course, there are significant moments I do remember, right? Like, there are good moments, a few of them that I can remember, but like, unfortunately, like, there's some hard moments that do outweigh the bad. I have gone through a lot that I never used to acknowledge, but now when I look back, I'm like, damn, girl. By the grace of God, I made it through. So I wanted to just give you some examples that have of occasions or moments or things that have happened that really had affected, how I view myself. And a lot of them would be from a, romantic relationship kind of, space, because we know when we're dealing with people, when we're in relation with people, it does affect, how we operate in this world. So let me take it back. All the way to primary school. I remember I was in grade 4 or standard 4, at that time. And please, when I say standard and grade, it's the same in this sense, because the school I went to was not in SA. It was in Botswana, but it was, they would say standard, so it's still the same. So yeah, I remember it was close to Valentine's Day. And there was this boy I had a massive crush on. And I think that was the first time I had a significant crush. Like, you start feeling these intense feelings for someone. You're like, oh my gosh, I really like this person. They're so cute. They're so nice to me and everything like that. Oh, poor little Taffy. But I had a crush on him. And, what I wanted to do was write him a secret admirer letter. And just to be like, I didn't want him to know that I liked him like that, because obviously you're scared, but I still wanted to express how I felt. And with the wordsmith that I am, I can imagine that letter was beautiful, but still I don't remember what I said. I just know that I wanted him to know that he has a secret admirer. So my so-called friends who were around me, who were like, no girl, go for it, do it, they knew about it. And I wrote the letter, and I really wanted to hide it in his bag, so that when he opened his bag, I don't know if it was like I needed him to open it before lunch, or I needed him to open it when he got home. But either way, there's pressure. I knew I was rushing and stressed out to be like, oh my gosh, he needs to find this letter when he opens his bag. So of course, he opens his bag and he finds the letter and he reads it. But I think that was now in class still. And he read it, and then someone was like, oh, what did you have? And you know how little boys are, like, oh, you have a secret admirer. I know I'm like saying it like that, but it's just like, that's how I remember it. And obviously I'm stressing out because I know I'm the one who gave him the letter. I'm not going to say that it's me, and people are like, yeah, who is it? Lo and behold, the one girl who I thought was my friend actually decided to expose me and let everyone know that it was me. And that was when I felt significant rejection, because everyone started laughing, and he didn't say anything. He didn't really say like, oh, Taffy, like, yeah, thank you. Like, obviously we're kids, now that I look back, I'm like, no, we're kids. But he also didn't acknowledge me, and that really felt like, wow, who am I to like someone? Who am I to like the cool kid? Who am I to like someone that is likable? So that was a significant moment for me to experience, and that really made me start thinking of myself differently. I can take it one step further, like, a year back even, where I remember I had my afro blown out. I think that was the last time before this time that I had my afro, and it was blown out and everything like that. So it was like up, and someone actually said that my hair looked like candy floss, right? Saying it now, it's like, oh yes, girls, look like candy floss. Candy floss is nice, but at that point it didn't feel nice, because people started reacting. It, like, just the way that they said it and the way that people reacted, it didn't feel nice. And I think from there I started relaxing my hair, so I started feeling judged based on the way that I looked, right? So you can imagine, like, okay, my hair isn't nice, because people are reacting in a certain way, then okay, cool. Now I like someone, and then people are laughing at me and laughing at this person, and this person is not acknowledging me. So those are kind of like, those fundamental years that I can remember. And then from there, continuing in primary school, something that I also had to really just face was the fact that, I was verbally bullied in primary school. I was laughed at, I was left out on purpose, mocked, people pretending to be my friends only for my help with their homework, and having only a few kids stand up for me. I remember this one boy, I will never forget. I don't know what all the other kids were saying. I know that they were just basically picking on me, and it was quite bad. And this one boy, I won't say his name, just out of respect, but this one boy really did stand up for me and just told him to shut down. Like, he shut it down. Boy, shut it down. And he was like, and I could tell he was also annoyed with me. I can imagine now. He's like, why would you let these people speak to you that way? But yeah, like, when I look back, I was like, man, I was so miserable. I was so depressed in primary school, because it was just very horrible. It was a horrible experience for me, because of how kids were treating me, and I would have like crushes on numerous boys, but not feeling worthy enough to like them, because only the cool kids could like date each other. So that was my experience with primary. Okay, now let's get into high school. I'm taking you through the phases, but just bear with me. This journey does have good news. So now I get into high school, and I remember I got into like my first relationship. Now when I look back, I'm like, it's not really a relationship. It doesn't really count. But at that point, for me, it was a serious relationship, right? And I was so heartbroken by this person, like so heartbroken. And when I say it wasn't a real relationship, the reason why I say that is because we were together for 7 months. We barely saw each other. I think we only saw each other once. It was long distance, but I really cared for this person. Why? Now take into consideration, I'm coming from a space where I didn't feel worthy, didn't feel liked, and I was mocked, I was bullied. And then now you're getting into a space where someone is intentionally checking in on you, someone is intentionally wanting to talk to you. He reached out. I didn't reach out. He reached out. He was the one who was hunting for my number, saying, hey, how are you? I was thinking about you. How was your day? So for me, actions and words have a huge impact, and I was learning that over time. But you have this person who's showing intent and who's showing care, and that for me, I like gobbled that up, because I'm like, oh wow, this person actually cares for me. This person sees me. This person actually wants to know how I am. The question, how are you, I don't take it lightly, because it's like, okay, if you're intentionally like seriously wanting to know how I am, and you ask that with seriousness, like it moves me, and that's what happened. So we would be talking there back in the day, mixed days, and we would be talking and stuff. And, he broke up with me, and with a whack, breakup. I don't even know. I can't remember. Yeah, I just remember I was just done. I was done. I was shattered. And I was in grade 8 at that time. And I think it took me like basically up to like 4 years or so to like get over him. Imagine 4-year heartbreak. And you're gonna see a pattern after this, but anyways, so I literally couldn't get over him. And with my overly nice self, like I would remember his birthday like clockwork, and like now I don't remember it because I'm done, thanks. But I would like send him happy birthday messages. I'll check in on him if his number changed, I'll try hunt him down on Facebook and all of these things. And honestly, what broke things for me, what broke everything for me to be able to move on, was when I remember I was in varsity. Yes, now I'm in varsity. I'm in first year. And I remember I remembered it was his birthday, and it was like late at night. So I'm like, oh crap, it's his birthday. Let me just say, happy birthday. And I think deep down inside, you're always trying to show up in a way that someone can recognize you and see you and be like, oh, okay, actually, no, I missed out on a good thing. So I think deep down inside, I always wanted him to see me that, hey, like, I'm still here kind of thing. Child, thank God that that was not my journey. But no offense to him, but yeah. Um and I remember he was surprised that I messaged, but what I clearly remember that really like knocked it, kicked the air out of me. Literally, he was like, basically he was just saying thank you so much for messaging, and I can't believe you always remember, and you always like, you always message me on this day. It really means a lot, whatever. But like essentially what he had said, like, you still message, no matter how often I kick you to the curb. Okay, so I was like, what? I saw that message and I was done. I was like, okay, delete, remove, unfollow, block, all of it. I'm like, all right. Like, this guy verbatim said, like, no matter how often I kick it to the curb. And that hit me because I'm like, Taff, as much as you knew that this guy, was not making an effort this entire time, you were putting in all the effort, and now this guy is clearly telling you, what more do you need? What more do you need? And that really hit me. Like that knocked me out. So yeah, that was kind of my journey from there. But please, it does get worse. I remember, and yes, I know I'm laughing, but I thank God I can laugh now, because back then it was the pits of the pits. Yeah, and then I'm in varsity, and I remember someone who would, well, or rather, let me just give more context. I remember being heartbroken in varsity without even dating the people. I think the worst heartbreak you can get is from a situationship, because it's just like, oh my gosh, we weren't even boyfriend and girlfriend, like you weren't even official, but yet I'm heartbroken by you. It always, like, it boggled my mind. And essentially I was just kind of just giving all my care and giving my all. And for me, it's kind of like, if I like you or I care about you, or especially if I'm like, okay, we're not going to get into a relationship, but I care about you and you're showing care, that obviously has an effect on me, right? But with these people, I'll be giving my all, giving my care, and then being cared for when no one was around. That was a problem. The problem was that, when no one could see us, when no one could see them, then that's when they want to be so nice to me. That's when they want to be present. That's when they want to be, Taffy, how are you? Taffy this, like, I got you this, I got you that. And that's really, it took me for a ride. But like, in public, they would reject me, they would set me aside, and it was just a lot. And I remember, how the only time, someone would want to spend time with me would be like in the evening, or, after they had gone out. So yeah, they'd go out and they'll be tipsy, and then like, whatever, they want to come and see me. And please let it be known that it's not one of those situations. I think for them, I'll be very honest, is that for them, because they knew I was a virgin as well, nothing would happen physically. It would just be that thing of like, okay, shall we try? And, thank God that, I didn't allow that access. But it would also be that element of emotional availability that I would be providing, that they would be present and I'll be present. I'll be there, no matter, time or whatever. And I think that's what really hit me, the fact that I knew that these people didn't want relationships, and I knew that I really wanted one, but the actions contradicted their boundaries. They would act a certain way. They would act like they care. They would act like, all of the things, or like, no, come over, I'm making dinner, or you're not well, I got you this, your back is sore, let me give you a massage, like, all of those things. And I didn't have boundaries of my own. To protect myself and what I wanted. And I even, so much so, I remember allowing people to judge me for believing in God, allowing people to knock on my door no matter how late it was, just so that they could feel comfortable, so that they could talk and be themselves, and just have a warm space to just be. But I didn't have the boundaries. I was uncomfortable. I was compromising myself. I was compromising my beliefs. I was compromising my desire for a relationship. There's nothing wrong with wanting a relationship, but I was made to feel like it was wrong. And I allowed people to make me feel small. I allowed them to make me feel like I wasn't enough, like I was the problem, not them. Like I had all that they wanted, but not for that time. There's a term that always grinds me, which is wifey material. I don't know how many times I heard that, and I was just like, what? You're telling me wifey material, and back then it was kind of like, it's a huge compliment, right? But now I'm like, no. I can't be wifey material, and you're like, yeah, you're wifey material, save you for later. Rather, not for now, because now I want to be, that guy all around the streets. And I'm like, am I leftovers? Am I a casserole? Am I a curry that's better the next day? No. Like, why can I not be the best and the first? Especially, for example, I would be compared to my best friends, and so much so, like, from high school, even primary or high school, but mainly high school and varsity, I would be the one that people would approach, or the one that guys would approach to get a number for my friend. So you can imagine how that really took a knock on me, and how all of those things impacted me. And I'm not even giving you the full juices, but I just wanted to paint the picture of this journey of rejection, trying to seek validation, trying to seek love, trying to seek care, trying to seek, for someone to see me. It all just really hit me. And also because I didn't have boundaries, I didn't know about boundaries then. I didn't know what made me special, what made me worthy, and all of these things really just, you have these wounds on your heart and your mind and your spirit, and you carry them for so long because also you just don't know how to deal with them. You don't know how to face them. But now I am facing all of these things. I'm facing how all of these things mixed with my own thought life that is often run by insecurities and fear has affected the forming of me. They really have, who I am, how to love me, and how to teach others to love me or leave me alone. And I think it's taken me in this time, I don't want to say it's taken me a while, but it's taken me in this time and by God's grace to be able to face these things and just say that, hey, that stuff was real and it wasn't okay. But look at where you are now, and you get to now release. You get to now let go. And I wanted to be vulnerable enough with these stories because no one really thinks about the words or actions or lack thereof, how those things impact someone and how they sit with someone. I'm sure a lot of the people who in my life who impacted me in this way may not remember it this way, may not think of this is how significant it was, and maybe they were going through their own life things, but all these things impact someone in such a way that it can be so profound. They can be sitting here talking about how much it hurt them, that you laughed at them, how much it hurt them that you wanted their best friend over you, how much it hurt them that you judged them, you rejected them, how much it hurt them that you mocked them for their belief in God, how much it hurt them that, you told your friends that, you don't even like her like that, but behind closed doors it's otherwise. Or when you're drunk, it's like, oh no, I love you. I'm going too far, but basically just stuff like that really does affect someone. And on the upside, there's a song by Alicia Keys called Gramercy Park that I love so much. Whenever I hear that song and I sing it with my soul, y'all. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, yes, those are the words. And purely because, the chorus, I thought I was gonna sing it, but actually nah, I ain't gonna sing it. Just go listen to it. But the chorus goes like, because I've been trying, well, let me slow down. The chorus goes, because I've been trying to be everything I think you want me to be. I've been doing all the things that I think you want to see. I've been trying to fulfill you with your every need. Now you're falling for a person that's not even me. I said you're falling for a person that's not even me. And what I love about this song was that it really made me face the fact of all those moments when you're trying to seek validation, all those moments where you're trying to be seen, you end up doing things and thinking in ways that ends up not making you the person that you really are, and now you're getting people to like a person that you're not, and yeah, there can be traces of the real you, but I think what it really hit me is that sometimes, those moments when you leave a room or a person and you're just tired and your jaw is sore and you're like, why does it feel like so much effort to just be? And that's when I was like, okay, I'm not being myself. So yes, please listen to the song. The song makes me cry, but it really makes me think about, all the times I adapt myself for the environment I'm in, or, be it around women or men, be it at work or with extended family, with new friends or old friends, because of the pain, the rejection, not feeling enough, the fears, the jabs, the comparisons. These are all powerful and painful wounds that affect how I view myself and how I portray myself. And I guess affects how I view myself in my dreams too. So I watched this video, which I thought was quite interesting, and rather, not even say quite interesting, I was shooketh, okay? It dragged me, but it really helped me to see what are those moments where you can identify as, you're not being your true self. Because maybe it's easy to say, this is how you're not your true self, for you to know how to be you, how to form you. And I'll actually add the link in the details, but it's from Psych2Go, and they were breaking down 7 telltale signs you aren't being your true self. And basically what they are is, 1, you tend to copy others. 2, you're a people pleaser. Yes, me. You let yourself be defined by how others see you. That's 3. 4, you attract drama into your life. 5, you give your power to someone else. 6, you procrastinate. That's me. And then 7, you justify your actions. Yeah. I was shooketh, because 6 out of the 7 have been me for years. I've been doing that for years, forever, and which has made me wonder if I didn't try copy others to be seen and recognized, if I didn't try to please people to be liked and approved, if I didn't let someone be defined, didn't let myself, rather, if I didn't let myself be defined by how others see me and my beliefs, if I didn't give power to someone else to validate me, if I didn't procrastinate on the things I know I should do and want to do, and if I didn't always justify my actions with non-profound, feeling sorry for myself reasons, who would I be? How would it feel to be that person? Would I finally see myself the way God sees me? Would I worry less and do more? Would I actually boldly go for the things I really want and not wait for the heavens to open and Jesus himself comes down to drag me to the answer, or look me dead in the eye and say, girl, you can, just do it? Would I like me? Would I love me? Would I stop worrying about others? Would I finally break ground on who Tafadzwa is? And that's actually the intent behind my handle, Project Tafadzwa, is the fact that it's a personal reminder to me that I am a work in progress and learning who exactly I am and how I show up in this world. Yeah. So it's a reminder for me right now. So what I want to say is, to the person who has, been made to feel like they're not enough nor worthy, whose confidence and esteem has been robbed by comparisons and rejections, whose insecurities have been fueled by judgment and is constantly hyper aware of who's around them, who could be watching, what they could be saying or thinking about you. Let's stop. Let's let go together. Let's actually make an intentional decision to break that torment, to no longer fall into the telltale signs of not being our true selves. Let's finally exhale and let our journey be what it's designed to be. Let's remind ourselves that those people that rejected us are not the alpha and omega over our lives. Let's gift ourselves a fresh slate, man. Yeah, it's hard. And I even had a moment when I was like thinking about this and preparing it, and I was just like, God, actually it's hard. I was protesting. But then he reminded me, cast your cares onto God, for he cares for you. Cast all your cares onto him, for he cares for you. We get to cast all of these things, these moments, everything onto him, because he cares and he can deal with it. And even in our dreams, let's tell the bullies, the insecurities, the fears, the need to prove to others that we don't need their validation, that we are worthy, we are enough, and no more. This is me. And we are keeping it moving. And maybe it's more of a need to just say to yourself that I am me. One of God's names that I love so much, I've been really, and I'm almost done, don't worry. One of God's names that I love so much, which also basically when you're looking at, God's names in terms of his characteristics, describing who God is and being able to see him in all his glory and might and power. It's like, it just gets overwhelming in terms of in a good way. But one of his names, which is quite common, is Yahweh, which means I am. And this name has profoundly hit me the more I meditate on it, right? It really expresses that he exists, that he is. I am who I am, just like that, as he said to Moses. So like if you want to go check it out, in Exodus 3 verse 14, he says, I am who I am. Tell them that I am sent you, and for me, just having that confidence, God having that confidence for me, it just rocks me. And yes, we cannot carry such a name. We cannot say that I am, because that's what God says he is. But the confidence that God has in knowing who he is and knowing he created us, created me, you and me, assures and grounds us to say that, or, and this is what you put in your name, but I'm going to say for myself, it grounds me to say, hey, Tafadzwa, you exist. You are you because of him. By his grace, I am what I am. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 10. You are his child, and with everything that has happened and all that you carry, you are a masterpiece. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Like this, these words have been ringing in me for the past couple of days, and maybe it was like needed for this moment. But fearfully and wonderfully made, that's who you are. That's the forming of you. I am Tafadzwa. And who are you? Yeah. Whew. Yeah. This was a lengthy one, guys. Bear with me. But we're done. But thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this exposure of my heart and mind. I hope in these words you have experienced a crack to open you up for the better. And I hope in these words you have felt seen, heard, and loved. Till next time, fellow masterpiece. Bye.